So today we're making a simple helmet. I got my sketch here. Check it out. Simple. We're just gonna do some connecting plates. And here is my matching sketch. Always smart to start with a sketch. Eliminates a lot of confusion. So we're gonna first turn the mirror on and grab a square. For this helmet, we're going to start with the earpieces, and then from there build out from the sides. So let's subdivide this square. And now edit the inside, give it a little bit of dimensionality, a look. There we go. I'm just going to make everything very simple. Let me crease these edges. And then next we want to close this off. So I'll use the same shape from a duplicated shape so that all the sizes are the same. See how that fits in perfectly? Just get that from duplicating shapes. So now we will push that in more after sizing it out. Oh, actually, I'd like to pull out like a nipple, kind of like a little nodule. Maybe it's a button. Who knows what it is? But go like that. And then give it an inset. And boom, that looks great. Although it's a little long. Pull that in a little bit. Okay, and change the color just so that we can differentiate it from everything else. And just like with the first object, we're gonna duplicate this and then pull the shape out of the center so that we can use that for our next piece and have it be sized right. Boom, to fit right in that hole. So let me just change this color also. And now we have the inside of this, whatever this mechanical bit is, whatever its function is. Quick and fast. So now the way that we'll build out from this ear round is by deleting the inside and move on axes on the X and the Y and the Z and draw extra bits of the shape outward, up, down, to the left. And then from here, we will just move things around until it starts to conform to the shape of the helmet we want. So I'm just going to follow my guidelines here and draw out an edge. And then build up and connect like that. And we have our eyepiece. And then here, okay, like this. I'll go like that. Bring that in. And then close that off. And now just start connecting all of the pieces and try and get a nice helmet shape going. There we go. This works. Working out very well. Okay, I like that. I'm going to draw these edges down to try and get a nice thin strip there. And then I'll build out the back of the helmet. What happens? Oh no, don't delete that. Oh, right. So let me figure out which way I want to build this. then connect the underside. Alright, so we almost have the full shape of the helmet. Next, what we want to do is inset everything. So an easy way to do that is to turn on your auto scale loops. Remember to build on the axis by stacking your controllers, and then extrude the edge once for a crease, and then one more for an inset. We'll turn off the auto loops so we don't select everything at once, and just pull everything in like this. Pull each edge in. One at a time. Just scaling them approximately so that you can get a nice even edge around the inside of your helmet. And see, now we have an easy shape to use for the next piece. So like we did with the side, where I duplicated the shape so that we could use the exact sizing from it to build the next object, we're gonna duplicate this helmet, bring it into edit mode, and delete everything except for this edge that we created. And what that's gonna do is give us this nice shape to build off of. Because when I change its color so you can really see it, and I bring it back down, it's set in the exact spot of the shape we duplicated. So it makes it really easy to just have some nice clean edges and then build up. So bring this shape into edit mode. Let's turn on auto loop so we can grab everything at once. Oops. And extrude a whole section. So now let's go out of auto loop and then try and close this hole up and make it look nice and smooth. What's the best way to close this? Probably just go along the top like this to close it. And now just smooth everything out. Here's a simple way to fix it. If you connect a point to another point, you're able to delete the line because it has a new anchor. So what I'm gonna do is connect this to here, that to there, delete those lines so that I can work with less points. And then we'll go like this, connect to there, so that I can just bring these strips back. And now we'll just raise these edges, try and cover up the head here. Great, that looks good. Then you could even delete those extra lines because now they have whole shapes that are holding them together. You don't really need to work as hard from here. When you have less lines, oh shoot, I forgot that I wanted to pull this forehead out. When you have less lines, the program actually does a lot of auto smoothing for you, which makes it really easy to just create a lot of mess and then delete what's too much or what's redundant, and then have the nice form that you're looking for. That looks good. That's nice and bulbous. Let's bring this out a little bit. And what's actually good at this point is to go into the tool belt and bring out the smoothing tool, and we'll just run over everything really quickly. If you make the ball really big, it'll affect things a little more harshly, and then you can just slightly touch all of these vertice points to just add a little bit more smoothness to them. But I don't like how unexaggerated that forehead is, so I'm going to bring this up more. Nice. Okay, now we're going to do the same. Oh, oops, I forgot about this bit back here. So now we're going to do the same with this edge down here at the mouth. Bring the light green part into edit mode, and then turn on auto loops again. And we're going to extrude everything on the red axis, bring it out. This is for the crease, and then one more for the edge. And boom. We got our nice edge for the next part of our mask. Make sure everything is in the right spot. All these points are sitting where you want them to be. And then duplicate this shape, bring it forward, so that when we delete all this, all these extra points back here, we can put the edge right back in where we duplicated it from. Good to go. All right, let's change the color of this. Change it to the same. Or actually, let's do a light green. Okay. And bring it back. A little more. And now we'll bring this into edit mode. And let's create this, I don't know what we'll call it, like a trunk beak type of situation. All right, let's bring this, bring this down. Oops, I got the points sticking together. And we will connect the bottom and the top and the middle. And then from there, just continue closing up the outsides. Oh, oops, that didn't fully connect. There we go. This is a little off. Let's bring this down. Bring it down, pull it out. Okay, much better. I'm going to start by working from the bottom up now. Except that's getting a little too thin. Maybe what I need to do is just continue on this path. Yeah, I like how this is looking. Okay, so then we just have to close up a few more. And then we can edit up these lines a bit because things are a little unorganized. My vertice lines, but I mean. So now that we have all of that, I'm gonna take some time just to smooth out my shapes, delete some unnecessary vertice lines, and then we'll move to doing this same technique to the back of the head. That looks good. I really like to overdo a lot of the helmets and like their geometry, but I'm gonna try my hardest to just make this one a very plain helmet. I'll put some knobs on it on the face for like eyes. Besides that, really just leave it alone and let it be. So now let's do the back of the head. So just like last time, turn on auto select loops, which is the better way. Probably this way, and then extrude a third. Drag them in, and there's our nice little edge. Okay, so just like the front, duplicate. And delete all the unnecessary points so that we could create our next shape to close up the back of the head. Let's make this the same color as the front. Okay, so we're gonna pull out for the crease and then one more and start closing it up. So that will be the back of our, ooh, actually I like that little inset, little sloped, it looks nice. All right, and that is the back of the head. Great. Simple. Now let's do, oh, here's a great little button, the vertical lock. Go into your menu, and if this is on, turn the vertical lock off so that we could flip our whole sculpt and have a better view of what's happening on the bottom. Like all the other ones, you're going to turn on auto loop select, extrude one edge for the crease, and then extrude another edge to make your inset. And then we'll clean up these edges to make things even. Or clean up these vertices so the edges are even, excuse me. The vertice dots. Alright, and now that that's done, like every other piece, just extrude the head. Once again, delete all the excess points and lines. And then let's change the color to, what do we don't have a lot of turquoise. Let's do or teal. Let's do a dark teal. Or a dark green teal. So bring the edge back up. And at this point, we can kind of, let's delete the woman's head and the sketch lines for right now, just so it's easier to see what's happening. All right, cool. And let me bring out a light bulb or a flashlight. We're gonna take this and bring it down a little bit lower so it touches. That's fine. Okay. So once again, extrude a crease edge and then the whole thing. And what I think I would like to do is I want to bring this edge in early so it's kind of short in the front, and in the back I want to make something that kind of curves out or like fans out like that. That's perfect. I like that. So now from here, just keep connecting this edge around the rest of the base of this object. And great. Now just make sure everything is spaced correctly. And now let's use that edge with auto select loops on to build the inside. Oops. From here, it's a lot easier to just hand build face by face, so that like auto loop select will just make things too confusing right now, because it doesn't exactly move to where you need it. It's just kind of an approximate tool. So it's best to just stick with using your hand and connecting extruded pieces one by one at this point. And now we'll just close up this hole so that our helmet looks like it doesn't have a bunch of open objects inside of it. We'll go side to side. 2, 3. All right, and that is inside of the helmet, nice and closed up. And I don't know about you, but I want a sharper edge down here, so I'm going to add some more edge loops on the inside of this face, because if you turn on auto select loops, you can see how never mind, that was incorrect instruction I was about to give, so let's just forget I even said that. Okay, so add the loop in there. That's straight enough. Yeah, that's fine, that's perfect. Great. And that is how you build out a helmet by using duplicated and extruded shapes and edges. So now I'll just go back to settings, turn vertical lock back on because I'm done working on the bottom there. And from here, I'm just gonna, oh, this is kind of like a parrot. That's what I should be thinking about looking at this as. Shit, I don't know what I was trying to say there. All right, let's make some of these. What are they going to be? Cameras? Robotic eyes? Something. But we'll use a lime green. Make sure you have mirrored turn off, because we'll be turning that on later after the shape is actually made. All right, so when widen the base, turn your subdivision level up. We're going to do some extrusions and make the edge of the lenses. Next, duplicate that shape so that we can delete the excess pieces and build the edges of our camera lens. Let's change this color to something dark gray so it's easier to see. Extrude these edges down. As always, love extruding and duplicating. It's just basically what everything is. And then just bring it down to where it fits. And if you want to give more of a bevel to this edge, you could put a vertical loop in or horizontal loop and then bring that base in a bit. And raise the whole thing. You see how you now have this like edge here? It looks more like two pieces attaching instead of like a continuous metal. Right. I'm gonna have to bring all of these edges down a bit though, because it's too tall. Okay, that's better. Much better. Let's add another loop in there actually. Much better. Okay. So now extrude the green piece again so we can get the lens out. Take the center square, extrude it outward, and then bring it down right to where the camera or the lens would be. but let's also remember to change the color, maybe something magenta to kind of contrast. So what I like to do when I'm making stuff like lenses or like robotic eyes is to add a lot of pieces like this gray edge, because it just gives more life to what the mechanics or how people will imagine the mechanics. So let's make this a sharper edge. Maybe even draw up some of these inner pieces. Oops, let's do one more. Let's change the color of this to a darker gray. And then you just bring it back, or actually it's best to just resize it. So pull your tool belt out, grab the magnifying glass. Remember, you grab it with the bottom trigger and then hover over your shape, click the top trigger, and then to center it, click the top trigger again. And then you can scroll between the tools in the magnifying glass while holding the bottom trigger, and you'll see all of these different options. You have the rotate on axes, move, resize tool, which is what I was about to go to, and then the move on axes tool. So let's resize this a bit and then lower it back down. Maybe make it a little bigger. Boom, there we go. Now we have two little layers of like metal. It kind of gives more life to the mechanics. But what's even better to do is to add a little edge of rubber. Like, you know, when you look at pieces screwed together, there might be like a washer of, what is that thing called? I think it's called a wash. That just shows kind of like the separated metal. You'll know more what I'm talking about when I put it in, but it's just adding more life to the mechanics and making it look more realistic. The more small details you add, the better your sculpt is going to look overall. So always worry about beveled edges. Like I heard from this guy on YouTube, there's no such thing as a completely straight, perfect edge. Everything has a bit of a bevel to it. So whether you do that in GravitySketch or in Blender or whatever program you utilize, do it. So yeah, now it kind of looks like there's a bit of rubber between the lens and these metal ring caps, and it just kind of looks realer. Okay, so now let's get ready to place our eye on the head. Let me bring these edges in a bit. All right, so make your selection ball big enough to select all the pieces we just sculpted. You'll slide up on your joystick and then get yourself centered on the blue axis by stacking your controllers one on top of the other. And we're going to select all of the shapes while they're inside of the selection ball with the bottom trigger on our dominant hand, and then press these 3 purple honeycombs, and that will group all the shapes together. So now, no matter where I move them, they're all going to move as one shape, which is great for moving them around and placing them exactly where it would be and resizing them as a group. It all becomes a lot easier. So I'm going to put one camera here in the front. Just kind of, there we go. That's probably fine. Maybe a little lower. And then we'll duplicate that shape and pull it to the side. And what you're going to do now is hold, select your whole group with the bottom trigger, and then hold the blue button on your submissive hand. And that's going to bring up a menu in the, oh my God, I just lost the name. In the, you're now able to edit them all at the same time. So we're going to click on, we're going to turn on mirrored, excuse me. Got a little bit of a brain fart there. Turn on mirrored, and now we have both shapes the same distance from the center on either side. And we're just going to place those in where we need them. I want them to be, yeah, about there. And then duplicate the whole shapes again. Place them right there. Oh, I like this star pattern that I unintentionally made. That's great. And there we go. We got our cameras. And what I think looks great when there's a lot of plates of metal attached together is to put some nuts and bolts everywhere. So I'm going to create some of those and make them look kind of basic. This is good. This is good. Okay. Now, just going to mirror that shape and place these bolts all along the bottom of the mask edge right before it touches the green. So it's as if it's just screwed in. And then I actually love how this thing looks, so I'm going to use it on my other pieces as well. And oops, I'll do them in the place where the bolts can intersect. So it's kind of like every other spot is a built. So we get 2 on the nose. And then 1 here. And then I'll just do 2 right here to match with the dark turquoise bolts. And now one more set. We're going to do 1 for the nose. Oops. Bolts, and although nobody will probably see the bottom, it's good to just cover all your bases and be used to making things look good at all angles. A lot of people will just try to decide their composition at the beginning and just work from that angle, but I think it's best to just make sure that your object is looking in tip-top shape from every angle so that you're able to be loose with your end result. Don't want to control things too much, so just be prepared. Let's move this to the middle, more even. There we go. Oh, this is pretty. I love it. What's needed? Probably need to bring these cheeks out a little bit. Perfect. Great. Love it. Okay, so now oh, it's so hard to leave this without doing a million more things to it. But we're going to mess with the nose in the end. Or excuse me, not the end, right now. We're going to do that right now. Okay, now oh wait, I want to make this edge a little more creased. I don't think there's enough going on there. Oops. Auto loop lock on. Okay. Great. Okay, so now to make a little, I like ventilators. Like, see all these dots I have here? I love vents and things like that. It just looks really cool on machinery. So I'm going to do that easily by just deleting out these pieces in the middle. And then we're just going to turn on auto select. Oh wait, those aren't connected. Huh. Okay, well, let me just go like this and bring everything in by hand. So we'll drag all these pieces in by extruding using the selection ball and clicking the bottom trigger. So now we have an edge. We'll put in another loop for that edge, and then that looks fine. I feel like I should put in a cut here though, so that I could really make this bend. Okay, now extrude that out, and like I did with the helmet, the rest of the helmet, delete all these excess edges. Let's change the color, maybe to like a grass green. We don't have any of that yet. And then bring the edge back. So I'm gonna bring out another edge so that I can build a couple of pieces to this front mask. I want to close this up. Oops. Select everything with auto select loop. Turn it off. And now let's try and close all these edges up. Smooth this out. Looking good, looking good. Wait. Huh. No, this is fine. Alright. So, we're going to bring this edge out and put this one in its place. Oh, is that not really closed? No, that's closed. It's fine. Yeah. Let's make a cut there. And then let's try and clean up this edge. That's fine. It's not completely fine, but we're just gonna roll with it. I don't want this to be overly complicated. So now delete the inside here so we can make the vent. And I lied, we're not gonna need that edge. That was complete fabrication. Oh my goodness. I actually messed up. I'm supposed to, damn. Well, hey, we're gonna work with what we got. I'm gonna have to close this section back up, or maybe just extrude the inside. There we go. That'll work. So, extrude that out. Delete everything so we can work with just this inset edge. Maybe change the color so it's easier. Ooh, you know what? I think I'm just gonna end the video before this part because the instruction is not going smoothly. Alright, so now we can extrude the edge, delete the excess, And now we can change this color, bring it back in. Finally. And from here, close it up. And this will be the metal grating. We'll put the ventilation holes. Perfect. But just like the bolts around the rest of the helmet, we want to put a few of those around on this vent part so it seems like it can be opened up or removed or whatever. Let's put some of these bolts in. One. It's probably better to have just one down here. It's not a lot of space at all. And that's what this is what's so great about contour lines. Look at that. I can just line this up to the center and it's good enough. The human eye is not gonna, oh wait, no, that looks wild. There, that looks better. Nobody's gonna question that. Looks fine. So I believe that's gonna be it. But I'll add a couple more accessories before I leave, just so that it's a little more well-rounded.